little hotter today, but I think it's going to be some good soaring. The wind is starting to come up, and site predictor says that right around 12 o'clock should start getting some thermals being released. So we're going to go up, check it out, see how it goes. Okay, at the top of Little Black, little cycle coming through. That's really nice.
So this was a really interesting day for me. Fairly frustrating, though it really didn't have to be. And as I looked at some of the video, I thought of just trashing the whole thing. I was just kind of frustrated by the whole day, but then I realized that, this is something I can really learn from. It's one of those days, yes, the ones you have to learn from. So I'm going to try to narrate my feelings throughout much of this whole video, and just see if I can kind of convey why I was frustrated and why it was all pretty silly for me to feel that way. Right off the bat, when I launched, I started fooling around with my Vario. It wasn't on the screen I wanted, and it just was not really the thing I needed to do. It was a day with on and off lift, kind of punchy little thermos, nothing really bad, not very turbulent, but you really need to be on it. You needed to get into that lift, turn quickly, stay in it, and it's a very narrow band of lift right off the ridge. And here I am just all over the place. What the heck am I doing? And I'm talking to myself, all because I want this particular screen on my Vario. It wasn't dangerous. There's no other pilots out there. Nobody else was launching. I was actually above launch right now. And I could have done a whole lot better if I just attended to flying the friggin' paraglider. So I finally settled down and started the task of actually just concentrating on the flying. And it was a little sketchy. I mean, you really had to kind of look for those little bands of lift. Really easy to hit sync. The wind was going from the west then to the north and everything in between. Here I had a little bit of a 360. I'm still above the launch here. It's not as close as it looks, and I really didn't gain much altitude there. But that was about the only time I tried at 360 because I wasn't above launch for very long. So it was a challenging day. Didn't seem like it was going to be that way, but that's just the way it was. And you needed to be patient, minimize your sync, try to maximize whatever lift there was, and it actually could have been a really fun and a day that would really challenge your skills. But I just started to get frustrated. I should be doing better. I should be doing better. It's pretty ridiculous. So as you listen real closely throughout the video, you'll hear kind of my voice of frustration here and there, kind of egging myself on, and it really wasn't very productive. A few other choice phrases that I didn't include the final cut of the video. I kind of went through my litany of curse words and several in a row sometimes, but yeah, not my proudest moment. And actually, the day was quite doable. With just a little bit of patience, I started to settle down a little bit, uh, started to turn a little tighter, stay in when I felt the lift, and actually got back up again. Here I am, just slowly working my way back up. So I should have been really happy. What more do I want? I saved myself from going down, made it back up again. At this point, I thought, as I looked at this, I should have done a top landing. Kind of just collected myself, just thought about how the day was going, kind of formulate a better game plan than going out and getting frustrated. But here I am, back on top of the launch, and I'm still just not happy about things. Go figure. Yes, that was a grunt you heard. A little bit embarrassing, but I wasn't quite getting the lift that I had been getting. Started to descend again. So I got frustrated instead of just being patient. Okay, this is becoming an old story. I'm a grumpy guy, and I just want things to be the way I want them to be. Yeah, that doesn't usually work. Yes, the last gasp of my flying is coming to an end. I really didn't plan on being this vocal, and as I went through all the videos, I was kind of a little bit embarrassed. And I got a laugh, and hopefully you'll get a laugh out of this too. It's kind of amazing what we'll unconsciously be doing, and some of it we can feel pretty good about, and others, yeah, we'd like to just kind of chuck that aside. But that was the end of this flight, and actually it wasn't too bad. I was up for almost 15 minutes, and I should have been really happy. But here I am just walking and kind of sulking and talking to myself. Again, I purposely let the video on mute on this particular section. And after collecting myself, I thought, well, let's do that again. So I hiked back up and did another launch. Was hoping for a little better flight. Maybe I've learned some things, but I obviously didn't. I was up above launch for a little bit, but the wind was starting to get pretty sketchy. It was going from the west to the north and back. So depending on where you were on this ridge, you either had great lift or a really big sink. So again, it's one of those things you had to really be on it and just be patient. And I was none of those things today. So after a few minutes, I think I was up for about 6 or 7 minutes here, lost the lift, started to come down again. So I really wasn't ready to call it quits. It's a beautiful day, but I just needed a little bit of a change of pace.
You've had a bad day and nothing's going right. You've had a bad day.
So I hiked back to the parking lot of the park, got out my spider, my paramotor wing, and I swear I'm going to get a paramotor soon. and I thought I'm going to just kite for a bit. I did some forwards, I did some reverses, and as I looked at this, I realized, boy, the wind was coming from all over the place. Here it's from the north, then it'd be from the west, but it felt good. But then I started seeing some people gathered up on the Little Black launch, and I said, well, maybe I'll go and see what's up. Perhaps things have turned around. So when I got to the Little Black parking lot, I met my good friend and fellow pilot, Mike. He wanted to hike up and do a flight, so I said, well, why not? Third time's the charm. Now, Mike is flying a Alpina from Ozone. It's a C-rated wing, but that doesn't really mean much unless you're a good pilot. And Mike is a really good pilot. And he just makes it look smooth and easy. And really, he had a day that was kind of similar to mine. The big difference, he had fun. And he just really enjoyed it. So I said, well, okay, I'll take off again. So this is my third flight off Little Black. I'm feeling a little more relaxed. Sometimes a little perspective helps. And had a great time. I hadn't seen Mike in a little bit. He goes to Mexico a lot. He'd been there for a few months. So it was great to fly with somebody. And just kind of remember, this is all about enjoying it. No matter what the flight is, your expectation should be just to have a good time, and not what the flight will be, but just what it turns out to be. Okay, I know that's sounding very zen, but that's kind of what I learned. So even an old guy can learn some new stuff.
Well, you did really well, Mike. You got some nice turns there. That was great. But I'm glad I went up. That was fun. It was a nice to get up and yeah. It always just a little more practice each time.
Okay, that was quite the day. I guess a lot of it is I just want to be a really good pilot, and I just can't rush it. I really wanted to get up there. I wanted to thermal. I wanted to go cross country. Yeah, sometimes the expectations you have kind of hits front end with reality. But it was great. I enjoyed it. Happy to see Mike. And thanks for watching.